This section is all about rotations. Rotation is a word that I'm guessing you already know, and the definition that you have in your head for rotation is probably correct. It's just rotating something about a point. In this example, we're going to use a protractor and a ruler to rotate the figure, so this green quadrilateral, 110 degrees about point K. Notice it does not say which direction we are rotating. If you are not told the direction to rotate, we always assume that it is counterclockwise. Again, unless it specifically says rotate clockwise, we are always going to assume that we are rotating counterclockwise. This will be a little bit easier for you because you will be doing this by hand and your protractor likely has a ruler on it. Mine does not, so my process is going to be kind of long. But first thing we're going to do, select a point. I'm going to start with point A, and we are going to use our ruler to draw a line from that point to the point of rotation. And I can't place it perfectly, but it's not going to be perfect. So that's my line. Then I'm going to use my protractor. Actually, while I'm here, I'm going to measure the distance from A to point K. That looks like it's 7.2 centimeters. Then I'm going to use my protractor to draw a 110 degree angle. So K is going to be the vertex of this angle. So I'll put that hole in my protractor on K. I'm going to use the bottom of my protractor to draw this angle. So 110 degrees would be there. So this would be a 110 degree angle. And then we want the distance from point A to point K to be the same as the distance from point K to A prime, or the rotation of A. So A to K was 7.2 centimeters. I'm going to take my ruler. I'm going to, from point K, measure out 7.2 centimeters along that line. It looks like that is going to be right there. So this point is going to be A prime. All right, then we're going to pick another point and do the exact same thing. So let's say I'm going to pick point C next, and we're going to have to do it for all of our points. So draw a line from point C to our center of rotation. So there's my line. While I have my ruler here, I might as well measure it. That looks like it's 8.3 centimeters. Then I'm going to use my protractor to draw a 110 degree angle. So use point K as your reference. Gonna have to rotate this to be on 110 degrees. Actually slide this back a little bit. Then use the bottom of your protractor to finish off that angle. All right, then on that line, I'm going to use my ruler to measure out 8.3 centimeters. So 8.3 would be about here. So this point is going to be C prime. And then I'll do one more. But I think by now you probably get what's going on. So let's do point D next. Use your ruler to draw a line from the point to our center of rotation. While we've got our ruler there, we might as well measure it. It looks like that is 6 centimeters. Then we're going to use our protractor to draw a 110-degree angle using that line. So there's my angle. Use my ruler to measure out 6 centimeters. Looks like it's going to be about here. So this point is D prime. And just for the sake of time, I'm not going to measure out B, but you would actually do that. We're going to say my rotated image looks something like that. All right, now we're going to do some rotating on a graph. The ruler method and protractor will still work on a graph, but we've actually got these shortcuts that will help us on a graph quite a bit. If it's a weird rotation, like if you're trying to do 75 degrees, then we don't have a shortcut. The only way we can do it is with a ruler and protractor. But typically on a graph, I will only have you do these three, 90, 180, and 270. And on any test, I will tell you these rotation rules. So you might start to memorize them, but certainly don't feel like you have to memorize them. Remember, whenever we rotate counterclockwise. So these rules are for rotating counterclockwise. All right, so triangle PQR with P at 1, 3, Q at 3, -2, and R at 4, 2. This is my original or my pre-image. I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees about the origin. So again, if you want to use the ruler and protractor method, that is going to work. I'm just going to use my rotation rules though. So P starts at 1, 3. A 90-degree rotation goes to the point -yx. So P prime is going to be at -3 because that's -y. And my x value is 1. So P prime would be at -3, 1. Q starts at 3, -2. So Q prime would be at, well, -2 would be +2, 3. So that's going to be Q prime. R starts at 4, 2. So a 90-degree rotation would be -2, 4. So that triangle would be my rotation, and this is rotating about the origin. So we rotated about that point, and you'll see we rotated 90 degrees. All of our image and pre-image points should create a 90-degree angle. All right, we'll do one more example. We're going to take triangle ABC and rotate that triangle 270 degrees counterclockwise. So A is at -4, 4. B is at -2, -1. And C is at 2, -4. That's a long, skinny triangle. Looks something like that. My rotation rule for 270 degrees, again, I do not expect you to have these memorized, is that XY goes to Y negative X. So A starts at -4, 4. A prime would be at 4, +4. B starts at -2, -1. B prime would be at -1, +2. C starts at 2, -4. C prime would be at -4, -2. And then let's graph these points just to double check, make sure it looks like I did the proper rotation. A moves to 4, 4. B is at -1, 2. And C is at -4, -2. If we did it correctly, we should have the exact same shape, the exact same size, just in a different location, and it looks like we do.